The survival of the Corroboree frog is important as it is an iconic Australian species, as well as being one of the most endangered frogs in the world and therefore most likely to become extinct. The number of the frogs is estimated to be below 50 in the wild. Endangered species are those populations that are leading to extinction, the Corroboree frog being one of them listed as critically endangered. The number of animals in the world that are classed as endangered have tripled in the last 15 years due to hunting, predation, land development, unsustainable tourism, and other destructive influences. All of these pose a risk to the Corroboree frog. Amphibian populations have been on the decrease worldwide in the past few decades. Unfortunately, largely due to little research about amphibians, the risk of some amphibian species dying out is becoming higher. Amphibians are significant in the areas of history, culture, tradition, and medicine. Additionally, they are crucial for the environment, affecting algae communities, predator dynamics, insect populations, nutrients, and acting as an indicator for a disturbed environment. The southern Corroboree frog is found only in the Mount Kosciuszko area in New South Wales, Australia. Easily recognised, the Corroboree frog has distinct markings of black and yellow stripes, making camouflage near impossible in the seasonal patterns of Mount Kosciuszko. The frog can only survive between altitudes of 1,300 and 1,700 metres and heavily relies on a cold climate. Southern Corroboree frogs have two distinct habitats for breeding and non-breeding. During the summer months, when the adult frogs breed, they reside in shallow pools and retreat to the subalpine woodlands during their non-breeding months. This makes it somewhat difficult to track the Corroboree frogs. The decline in population started in the 1980s, where surveys were taken of the southern Corroboree frog population, and it was found that there were only 63 locations where the species was breeding. Previously, it was known that the frogs were more populous, and this was the first sign that the species was depleting. In 2013, frogs are still found breeding at only 2 of these sites. Last year, it was recorded that there were only 4 adult frogs found. This is also an extremely low degree of genetic diversity in the population, mirroring the bottleneck effect. The southern Corroboree frog is under many threats, primarily human and environmental threats. There are action plans to preserve the Corroboree frogs against these threats and have been implemented in more recent years, as more research is being undertaken on these frogs. The New South Wales National Park and Wildlife Services and the University of Canberra have implemented a management and monitoring plan, and surveys have been carried out annually. The most popular and affordable option is to breed the animal in captivity, which reduces the risk of influence by environment and provides ideal conditions for successful breeding. This strategy has had significant success through collaborative work between the New South Wales Office of Environment and Heritage, the Corroboree Frog Conservation Strategy, and involves working with Taronga Zoo, Melbourne Zoo, the Amphibian Research Centre, and Hillsville Sanctuary. From these captive populations, they are able to release the frogs into the wild in artificial pools that are more protected against droughts and disease. As the population has been affected by a rapid decline, there is little hope for the Corroboree frogs to become more populous and unendangered, but through breeding programs and management strategies, they may be saved from the brink of extinction.